Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Now, I posted on Instagram yesterday a picture of this box. Now inside this box is apparently a Gigabyte GTX 1080 G1 edition GPU, and it's totally different from the stuff we usually take a look at on this channel. So why did I buy it? Well, this is actually going inside the personal rig behind me here as a little bit of a treat to myself, a little bit of an upgrade from the 1070, and to be honest, it doesn't really need upgrading. The 1070 is still a fantastic card that can handle all of my favourite games at 60 frames per second and full HD resolution. But when I came across this, I thought, you know, I might not find one this cheap in a long time. And at £300, this was the cheapest 1080 I could find anywhere in the country. I've also purchased a larger television to hook the PC up to for when I'm playing games, and the reason for that is because my eyes are slowly, how do I put this, breaking. In a few years there's a good chance that I'm going to need glasses about this thick and maybe even a guide dog. So I bought a bigger TV, and of course that runs at a native 4K resolution, so I thought the extra horsepower of the 1080 here might help with those higher resolutions as well when it comes to running some more modern AAA titles. And I took the plunge on this card. I clicked buy it now, as much as it pained me to part with that sort of money, because I thought, you know, that's a good price for one. And I thought I could also combine it with a little bit of a mini review of the Amazon Warehouse Deals site. Now, Amazon Warehouse Deals specialise in customer returns or unwanted items. I guess it's the same thing, but they often sell them on at a hefty discount because they may have a few accessories missing, or the item condition itself may be a little worse for wear. Now, from what I read, this was in used but very good condition, missing a few accessories, and there's also a few blemishes on the card apparently. So I thought we'd unbox it on camera, see what we do get, and then test it out to see if it is fully functional and see whether or not we've got a great bargain or a card that is far beyond its best days and is clinging to life after being totally abused by its previous owner. So let's get into it and open up this £300 GTX 1080 from Gigabyte. Now, the purpose of today's video isn't to benchmark this card. I just want to establish what we've got, what condition it's in, and whether it's fully working. I'll be testing a few games at 1080p, but I plan to make a full performance video once I've made all my upgrades, because I'm not sure if I'm going to swap out any other components for anything different just yet. It depends if I can find any more decent deals about. As you can see, we've got what certainly looks like a 1080 in here, but there are no accessories in the box. Upon going back to the Amazon listing, and it seems as though the item condition was actually listed as used good, not very good, so no manuals or discs are supplied. Furthermore, it's worth mentioning that the item itself is only covered by a 30-day return policy from what I understand, which, when you're buying an expensive piece of computer hardware, doesn't exactly scream peace of mind. Whether this is irrelevant in the pursuit of a hefty saving is entirely up to you, but I'll certainly be updating you every so often in terms of this GPU's longevity. That's probably what I'd call the main catch. I swear it's sometimes 90 days, but I couldn't find that written in regards to this product anywhere. Getting the card out the anti-static bag, and it's actually in perfect condition. There are no scratches on it, no dust anywhere, and the little connection protectors are all still in place. When I see little details like this that have been preserved, I tend to assume the product has been well looked after, but that may be a completely incorrect assumption. So, I fired up my rig, which currently consists of a Ryzen 5 1600 at 3.8 GHz and 8 gigs of 3000 MHz DDR4, and began the process of installing the 1080, or at least I tried to. I had to download GeForce Experience because both the device manager and NVIDIA installer gave me an error, and initially I thought the card was broken. A clean install resolved this though, as it often does. We even got this cool blue light come on. The next thing was of course testing stability. At the time of this upload I'd have been using this for about 10 hours, running various games and stress tests to make sure we don't see any artifacts or blue screens, but the real proof will be in the long-term results, and I'll have to keep you guys updated. As I jumped into Battlefield 5 I noticed that I was seeing about 10 to 15 frames more than I was with my 1070. The Ryzen doesn't bottleneck the card, but put it this way, for gaming, the 1080 could certainly handle something a little more powerful. I chose the Ryzen about a year ago because I mainly edit videos, and for that it's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I'll discuss the performance a little more in a different video, because as I say, I don't know whether I'll be changing my CPU, adding more RAM or whatever. Your advice and thoughts are always appreciated in the comments. What CPU do you think would pair best with this, or should I just keep my Ryzen in the PC? As I moved on to Just Cause 4, which is more GPU intensive than CPU, I noticed that we were averaging above 100 frames per second at the ultra settings, and the card was still staying pretty quiet too. This is the Gigabyte G1 version, so we've got the nice 3-fan Windforce cooler on here. I would have loved to own one of those mini ITX versions like the 1070, but I couldn't find any of those, or moreover couldn't find any at a decent price. After a good few hours of gaming it seems that the card was working as it should, but as I said, it's early days and it's all down to the long-term results. I think, or I like to hope, that it's been well looked after, but that doesn't mean that it hasn't been heavily overclocked or pushed to its limits. Anyway, to conclude, you can find some great deals on the Amazon warehouse section of the site, but the main catch is that you won't be receiving much in the way of a warranty, and should your product go bad after the first month you may find yourself on your own support wise, and maybe even out of pocket. I'll be testing the performance fully and making a few comparisons at different resolutions in another video very soon regarding the 1080, so I hope you can join me then. But in the meantime, if you enjoyed this one, leave a like on it, leave a dislike if you didn't, let me know if you've had any good or bad experiences over at Amazon Warehouse deals, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you all in the next one.